And welcome back to Captain Reviews. This is episode number 13, and so we have 5 builds here, and we're going to go ahead and go through them. All right, so let's look at our first build here. So this is the LET L-410 TURBOLET. All right, so let's look at some pictures. So a nice interior here. I like the visible main wheels. We hear that on the Embraer 145, and 737 has them. A bunch of them have them. Very cool. I like exposed gear like that. So it looks like a nice small aircraft, passenger aircraft. Really cool. So let's go ahead and look down. It's by Jan. And you can see his other items. The LET L-410 TURBOLET, a bit of history. L-410 is a small twin-engine transport aircraft developed and built by the Czech manufacturer Let Kunovice. It first flew in 1969. Since then, there have been over 1,200 built across over 24 versions. TURBOLET has proven as a reliable and very robust aircraft, suited for the most difficult flying conditions. It operates in all environments from negative 50°C in far Siberia to plus 50°C in Central Africa. The most difficult landing terrains and short runways in South America and Asia. When I was first coming out of college, I was looking at some of the jobs, and it was few years after 9/11, and so some of us were looking at some of the flying jobs in Africa, and it's just crazy flying some of the tiny little fields, and they're on like the side of a mountain. It's kind of very hairy and interesting flying, so very interesting. Let's go ahead and look at the manual. So startup, turn on BAT1, turn on avionics. Let's actually wait on this, and we'll go ahead and we'll go through that when we go. Autopilot, I'm probably not going to use the autopilot, but we'll just take a look at it. VOR, I'm not going to use the VOR navigation. I have to install the beacons. I don't have them installed yet. Stormlink, so this is Stormlink compatible. My understanding at the time of this recording that the person who developed Stormlink is currently updating it to work with the new Industrial Frontier. So this has 10 seats for that. Really like Stormlink, and would like to see it usable again with the new area. This aircraft can fly on one engine if required. Use the heater only if you need to, and closely monitor engine temp as you do so. So it will heat up the engines, probably close the engines. This plane is short takeoff and landing. You can safely fly and land with full flaps at around 100 to 110 kph. It's always nice to see approach speeds in there. And thank you to Matthew Jam for the engine systems. Please do not update without my permission. All right, here we are with the LET 410. I really like the design. It looks great. Of course, it's based off a real aircraft. Reminds me of the Mitsubishi turboprop. It's really cool. Nice XML work on the solid rocket boosters there for intakes. Intakes look really nice on that. Really nice overall shaping. Looks really nice. The hips and the gear integration look really good. A lot of XML work in here. Good bit of work in here. Nice long XML'd control surface, XML'd windows. I'd like some more native window pieces, devs. If you can do that, that would be nice. Certainly nothing wrong with XML, but it would be nice if we don't have to always do it. This is a neat bit of XMLing in here to make that look good. That's cool. Go ahead and press a button. Get our rear door. Nice bit of shading on here and detailing. Very cool. A lot of good XML work in here. All right, let's go ahead and we'll jump in. So we'll go in that door there. I didn't see any ground service panel, but might just be missing it. So try to see. Looks like fluid hose anchor there, so probably just tight on space. All right, let's open up. And there we go, got in. So that's always nice. So nice seats again. They're all numbered for Stormlink, so that is positive. All right, so I'm in the seat here. Let's follow the instructions. So turn on BAT1 and avionics. So see where I'm at here. So I'm just kind of going through ignitions, VOR, altitude, hold, target. Okay, I'm just going through everything. Avionics landing gears there. There's battery main. Okay, so battery's coming on. Avionics coming on. All right, everything's turned on. Turn on engine main 1 and 2. Turn on magneto 1 and 2. So let's see. Change set heading. Engine 1 ignition. All right, let me see if I can find engine main. Engine, those are magnetos. I'm just double checking. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn on. Do we have a... There's the masters for the engine. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do engine master 1 and 2. I think those are the engine mains. I don't see a... Normally I want to turn on my beacon. I don't see a beacon, so we'll just ignore that. I'm trying to still go through engine 1 and 2. So I'm not getting it yet. Probably missing something here. Engine masters are on. Okay. Engine 1 ignition. Looks like a hold. I don't have any engine spool level. No spool yet, so let's see. Flaps, what are you? Parking brakes on. Throttle. Heater. Okay, let me get onto the panel. Make it a little easier to see. Oh, come on. Theoretically. What are you? Landing gear? Okay, we're not going to touch you yet. So that's set heading. That's change heading. That's altitude hold, heading hold, target altitude. So this is all my anti-ice, my lights. So everything's organized well. Go ahead and turn the mags on anyway. Okay, so we needed the mags on. So they sound like they're actually diesels. So I needed the mags on first, it seems. Alright, so we're up and running now. Okay, good. So I was thinking it was a turbine. Alright, so let's see. Turn on lights as required. So we'll do nav lights, backlights. Alright, so 1 and 2 are started. I kind of skipped a step with, just for lights, but we don't need anti-ice. We're not cold. We're down in the desert, even though it's snowing down here. Parking brake's going to come off. Alright, let's see. AD roll, WS pitch. Left, right's yaw. Up, down, soft brake. Throttle up is 1 and 2. 3 is push to talk. A little bit of glazing on the XML windows, but you can't really do anything about that. That's just... You know, the XML, you kind of do that. I'm soft braking as I'm going here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to hold the brakes. I'm going to do not a static takeoff, but I'm just going to tap the brakes here. I do not see anything, no other checklists here, so I'm just going to have to kind of wing it. So we'll kind of look through here. Do I have VOR frequencies? I don't think I have flaps. There's flaps. Okay, I'm going to go flaps like, I don't know, 12%. We'll do like, try to get 9 degrees, something like that. So we'll go through the gauge a little bit. Vertical speed, airspeed, kph, altitude meters, angle of attack, ground. So that's AGL, air temp. I don't know what dial is. What would be 103 right now as we're spooled? I don't know what that is. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what that is. VOR freak, VOR heading, map, flaps again, oil temps, engine RPMs, fuel levels, radio. There's our gear, fuel burn, and then we have duplicates on that side. All right, so I think we're ready to go here. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna steer out on the runway. So we have flaps in. You know, I'm trying to get somewhere in the neighborhood of like 9%. All right, let's start throttling up. Up. I'm pressing the wrong keys, and so I was braking. So we're spooling up. Can't really tell where my airspeed is like this. So I'm just gonna go like this. So nice. It's a short field capable aircraft, so let's look at the gear. The gear looked nice, so I want to see them. Good work on the gear. Nice stowage, nice and slow and realistic. I like that. So the beacon is on. The beacon must come on with nav lights. So flies nicely. Flies pretty realistic feeling to me. I'll go ahead and put the flaps up. A little bit of oscillation, but not bad. Probably just a little bit of a p-value issue, but definitely nice. Nice speed on this. Am I at full throttle? I am at full throttle. So Flying very nicely. So let's go ahead and we're just going to kind of do a quick little turnaround here and we'll land right back at the opposite end of the runway. Wind's pretty calm here. So I'm going to kind of, don't have any other checklists, so I'm just going to kind of do a modified, procedure myself. So I'm trying to get down. So that there is, so I'm going to grab really quick. I'm going to look. So it says you can full flaps 100 to 110. So let's go crank the flaps in. And we get a balloon. That's normal. You'd get a balloon. And we also get a bunch of drag. So you have to add power when you add flaps. So 100, 110. So I'm going to hang it just a hair high. Go about 115. We have plenty of runway. I'm going to get on center line here. I'm high, so I'm going to pitch my nose down. Kind of keep it just actually a little fast. So I'm going to try to go to that first notch. So it looks like you might have indexed it so that that notch is at approach speed. Yeah, that notch is approach speed. So I'm going to try to keep it on that first notch, which that's convenient. I can kind of use that. That's the downside of having those gauges as your airspeed, is it's just tough to see, where if you have the notch, it's actually pretty easy for me to know my approach speed. Approach speed is the most important speed you really need. I'm slow. I'm adding some throttle. A little bit sensitive on throttle. I always, like a really, a little sensitive on throttle. I had to power up not to stall. But, a little bit flat of a landing, but that was, again, I bet the more I use this, oh, I didn't put the gear down. So that was my fault. Let's go ahead. Can I recall this? Okay, let me do a quick startup procedure. Let's get out of here. I'm going to do a quick pattern. I forgot the gear down, so that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. So I tried to rush and get this on the ground, and I ended up paying for it. So battery, avionics, flaps set to about where I want them. Let's go ahead. Let's go engine masters, mags. Start 1. We'll crank 2. Let's take off the brake. Let's go ahead and taxi out. I'm going to do a really fast kind of pattern. Forgot to put the gear back down. So generally, I would do my gear down as I came in, but I was struggling with speed a little bit, and I had a stall right on final, so I ended up not checking my gear as I would. So that's why I don't rush. That's why you kind of follow procedures. So I didn't follow the procedures, so that was my fault, certainly. All right, let's get out of here. I keep pressing the wrong buttons, so I very much like throttle on up down. That way I can use all my other controls as I'm going. So there's my liftoff speed, rotation. Let's go ahead and we'll click all the lights on, kind of see what everything's looking like here. I don't need the cockpit light. Pause rate, gear up. We're definitely good speed. Go flaps up. All right, so I'm going to do a proper pattern here. That will help me remember all my stuff. I didn't have a checklist to go through, so again, still my fault. I need to come up with a modified checklist, but that would have been on the landing checklist to verify gear, and I did not. So, all right, coming down here, this turns, I'd say unrealistically quick, but that's, a game thing. That's not a this build thing. All right, so as I come up beam the numbers, I'm going to go gear down and set my flaps. So doing an actual pattern here is going to help me to remember my procedures. I don't have a gear indicator, so I have to kind of modify it. Okay, gear's coming down. Flaps are coming set. All right, so I'm not a huge fan of this control scheme where you use 1 and 2 for speed. I used to do that, but it's I really like up down because I can keep my hands on. Like, see, I'm trying to pitch down in my nose. See, especially in real life, I know Jan knows this. He flies this. Every time you make a pitch or a power pitch change or a power change, you need to change your pitch or power. And so, for example, if I pitch my nose down, I'm going to gain speed. I need to reduce my thrust. And so if I pitch my nose up, I need to increase my thrust. And so that's one of the reasons why I like up-down as my throttle, is I can pitch and also very naturally change my throttle. You know, it'd be thrust. It doesn't confuse me a little because it's diesel, but you know, it would be throttle if it was diesel. It would be thrust if it was turbine. It would actually be, yeah, it'd be thrust. You know, for jets, and so you know, like I have to take my finger off of my pitch. Like, see right there, getting slow, and I had to take my finger off. Well, I wanted to pitch down and change my throttle, so I'm a big advocate of the WS pitch, AD roll. Up down is thrust. Like right now, again, I want to pitch my nose down, which is going to gain me some speed, and I can't really pull it off thrust at the same time. It makes the flare very difficult. So, like, see, I know I need to pick my nose up, so I had to pre-select my thrust, and now we're oversped. So now I'm trying to mash my nose down and move, like, mash my fingers together. So that's just a personal thing of how I tend to make my controls, just so that I can, you know, make sure that I'm pitching and doing the appropriate power settings at the same time. But that's just a personal preference thing. I find it gets very button mashy if you have to do that. But plane works really well, flies very nicely. It's very nice to see some more Stormlink compatible planes. So it looks like the up arrow does the braking mostly. I was trying the down arrow. I used to do it like that, and I kind of changed up my scheme on that as well. But you know, really great plane. I like it a lot. You know, I wish they would give us more window pieces, so you'd have to do this XML chicanery that ends up with us having this frosted effect. You notice the frosted effect? That's from XML editing the windows. You kind of can't get away from that, and then you can't seal the body either. So it's again, I wish the devs would do another window pass. Do some custom windows would be nice, but that's sometimes just yelling into the ether, it seems. So let's go do a modified shutdown procedure. So I don't know, masters maybe. There we go. It worked. And let's go ahead and we'll bang off some lights. And I'll just look at this really quick on the way out. So let's go ahead and we'll do avionics and master main battery. So really great, great work on this. It's nice to see a small aircraft. They tend to be tough to get all the micros in, but this is a nice size aircraft, plenty of seating, but still very compact. Nice XML work, so I really enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. And the next build here is the HEVS Ultimate Radar and Artificial Horizon HUD. So this is cool. I've used this a little bit on some vehicles that I've tested out already. And so we'll go through some of the pics. So very cool. It's by Anonymous Sandwich. The HEVS Ultimate Artificial Horizon HUD is made to be a modular system usable on all types of aircraft. It sports parallax, so the center is always correctly positioned. Also has a full radar tracking support for up to 8 targets. It's built to be easily configurable to different cockpits, whether that be color, orientation, or desired features. If you use this in your creation, please add credit and a link to the description. Thank you. Features radar tracking for up to 8 targets, parallax to ensure proper line of sight is maintained even when the head is turning. Very useful for aiming guns and rockets. Able to be configured for any rotation in different positions. Customization to choose what features you want, including color. Radar warning receiver. Setup guide. Place the 3x3 camera and 3x3 monitor. Set the field of view of the camera to 0.138. Place HUD in front of seat in correct position. Rotate as need be. HUD can be up to 2 blocks away from the front of the seat. Rotate the 3x3 monitor to match the direction of the HUD if sideways. Have arrows point in opposite directions. Connect the composite from the seat and HUD to the microcontroller. So it must be using the seat look for the parallax, I assume. I've never really played with the parallax. Connect video from microcontroller to the 3x3 monitor and the video from the camera to the HUD. Set configuration in the microcontroller properties. Orientation of the HUD, blocks from front of seat, vertical speed factor, mess around with it till you get what you like, and color. Repeat steps 1 through 6 if you wish to use a second output. If you want to use radar, place any radar pointing towards the front of the vehicle, set it to static, and field of view between 0.5 and 0.8 depending on how far away the HUD is. Set the radar orientation in the microcontroller properties. If you want RWS, radar warning receiver, hook up a radar detector to the corresponding node. If you desire not to use radar, RWS, or the second seat, disable them in properties and delete the corresponding codes. User guide. To turn the radar on/off, press left button on the bottom of the screen to toggle. To change what instrument data is on the screen, press the right button. If you want to install your own RWS system, just delete the capacitor hooked up right now. If you want to have some fun, change the color settings to unicorn. To turn on/off certain features, toggle them off in the microcontroller properties. You can delete any nodes you do not need. You can use the full suite or just a single HUD with the artificial horizon. It doesn't work. Problem, the screen is very pixelated. Solution, make your monitor quality set to high. I'm not going to go through all the troubleshooting, but that is definitely appreciated. These types of things help a lot, if people are having issues. FAQs, so you can go through the FAQs if you want. Suggesting upcoming improvements, 3x3 HUD support, prograde indication, dynamic radar, distance for ease of use, and ability to just have radar tracking. All right, so having a little issue with the HEVS. I've subscribed and downloaded a couple times and rebooted my game, and still having issues with it not showing up in my workshop. So I'm in my workbench. So I'm assuming that's a Steam issue. I doubt that's any issue with that. Sometimes you get that where you have to reboot it a bunch of times, and then the game decides it's going to give it to you. So we actually tested this a few videos ago, and this has the HEVS in it. So I think it's best for me to end up actually using it anyways in a vehicle. So let's go ahead and turn on avionics. Let me try to remember how to run this sucker. Let's see. Nav lights. Let's go ahead, do engine 1, 2. Brakes. Okay. And so this is the HEVS right here. It was credited in the description. This is Carnival's Kishi, so he had included this in there. This is Klara's HEVS. So this is the system we're testing, is just the HUD. So you saw this HUD in the video that I did on the Kishi. So I put a couple carts out there. So we have one there, and one there. So we're going to do a couple passes, and we'll go ahead and we will look at them and see how it works. So let's go ahead and make sure brakes are off. We good here? Let's go ahead. How to close my canopy. So we're not testing this again. Up down throttle, launch missile 1, PTT, cut brakes. I'm just kind of going through. I'm just trying to make sure I don't screw this all up. And how does one do the so there's a trying to do the canopy here. Eventually I'll find it. Maybe I will, or maybe I won't. Okay. Canopy. All right, good. So let's go ahead and get out of here. I think the brakes are off to start with. All right, so all right, we're up. Whoa, I forgot, a little twitchy and on this. So let's keep our speed. Let's not stall here. So it could come in about 200 knots. So we're testing the HEVS. The first thing we're going to do here is, you see we have knots, we have feet. So, Klara had said on there that you can click left and right. So as you see, it declutters, which is cool. You can kind of go through the modes. So right now we're at full clutter. So we have a pitch ladder. We have our artificial horizon. We have our bar there. As you can see, I can roll. And we can tell our roll angle by the bar. Nice pitch ladder on there. So very nice and simplistic on the representation, so that you have plenty of screen area for the actual targets. Click it again. As you can see, we lose the pitch ladder. We only have artificial horizon, so that's generally known as decluttering. Click it again. We declutter again. We lose the our speed and altitude. And then we declutter, we take away our pitch, so we're just down to this. So this would be good for multiple uses in case, for example, say you're not flying, you're using a ground vehicle and you just need to target, maybe. There's completely decluttered. So let's go ahead and let's go in with full clutter, and because I need to fly a little bit here. So let's head back. And first pass, if I can re-find the airport. Where are we at here? So I'm not bothering with, I'm not going to analyze this vehicle. Okay, I know where I am now. So this vehicle's fast, so I'm trying to get us back. So then the left just brings, as you can see, left here brought up all these targets. So that turns on and off the radar as indicated. So as you can see, we have a lot of things many kilometers away. And then I think I can click that. Again, I'm trying to fly, so I can't look at the manual too much. Let's go ahead and click that one more time, and I think we can still see our targets close in. There we are right there. So we should be coming up. I have the 3 electric carts out there, so let me go ahead and bring them up. So there's my 3 carts. So there are the carts, so I had to press the left. There's our speed down here. It looks, what's this? That's our heading. So as you see, we have a target there at 2.2 kilometers. That's one of my carts, I think. There's some more stuff there. There's one of my carts there. As you can see, it highlights my carts. There's another cart, and my other one's there, so we'll spool around and see it. And well, let's go back one more. So we have one is launch missiles, so let's go ahead and let's grab, I want to see that last cart. And then we're not testing this jet again, we're testing the screen, so I want to really, so as you can see, it highlights the cart. It's cool that it highlights your objects, that's really nice, points them out very nicely. So it's reading something 11 kilometers away, so it has a really nice long range. If you have any questions on how to set it up, there's, the frequently asked questions, and there's the troubleshooting guide in there. So Klara did a lot of good work on that workshop page, trying to help answer everybody's questions on how to set it up. So it's very cool. So let's go ahead and fire a missile at our target, theoretically. Where are we at? Well, launch missile, I'm not sure. Let me see. Master arm. Where's master arm? Again, I'm not really testing this vehicle. Master arm. Okay, so let's fire one off. I just want to see how this, how the system interacts. I'm not testing the jet again. Already tested that, but I really like how this highlights it. I enjoyed this when I tested it the first time. And then, I don't know if I even launched a missile there, but again, it's really cool how this points out all your targets. I really love the declutter feature. That's nice, especially. So let's actually declutter a little bit. So let's declutter our, let's declutter to max, as you can see, or we'll keep our, no, we don't even need that. Let's go all the way here. So now we have no clutter in the center. We just have our speed, so we can, especially in VFR conditions here, I can still kind of crank it around. And as you can see, there's a good representation of my carts. You can see them right there. Coming up, there they are. So really cool. So there's one right here. You can see it's highlighting my cart. It has parallax, so as you're looking, see how the targets move with the parallax. So that is a cool feature. You see up, down, it parallaxes. So that's really cool. So I like this a lot. I see this in a lot of builds, so this is a really popular mod, and great work by Klara on this. And let's go into our next vehicle here. So we have the medium bomber M1 1938. So interesting design here by Skelbton. Let's see. I'm going to be honest, this thing is a POS, so that's going to be interesting. These bombs sure do love do barrel rolls, lol. Better use a dive bomber, lol. It's naturally pitches up, so I recommend having the flaps be flush with the wings. Okay, I don't really know what that means. Range 295 kilometer, 2.43 Arctic trips. Tajan FD Warner, flying WASD pitch and roll. Left, right is yaw. Okay. 1 starter, 2 gyro, 3 parking brake, space hold, blow some. Okay. I don't know what any of that means. Gunners, WSD, traverse and elevation. United, Oceanus, Discord, right there. P.S. Maybe there's something in the fuel tank. Sometimes I get clogs. Could you check it? Okay. All right, so let's start with a walk around. I like its design. It's kind of neat. The kind of the bulbous shape, a little cartoony in its design, which I think is pretty cool. Overall, the exterior design works is really cool. Neat bombs and kind of simulated bomb racks on there. Arctic Express. I don't know, was that a little alien or a bug? Can't tell. It's pretty cool. I like these kind of cartoony builds sometimes. They're cool to have. Alright, so let's go ahead and I have 2 doors here. One of them I thought had Okay, that's just the pivot. I was curious what that pivot was. So let's go ahead and jump up in here. All right, and so let's look in here. So we have our tail gunner and machine gun, left, right, up, down, and space. I want reloads there. And we use the seat trick to get out. So torch, fire extinguisher, what are we talking here? We have our engine gauges in the back, so it looks like somebody is back there to monitor that. That's cool. We have our top turret. So pitch up and down. I put a clamp on this so that you can't push like this. I don't know. Maybe you want to do it on the sides. Yeah, there's a little. See, there's no point in going down, so I'd clamp that just to get rid of that. But it's neat to have a ball turret. So that's cool. Dual machine guns on that. Okay. That's kind of a cool feature. What do you? I don't know what you do. So lights. So I would label that. It's always nice to have labels. Lots of ammo hanging around everywhere. Have our waist gunners here. So I'm not gonna have to get right in the right spot to do it. And so, wow, they got a lot of wing exposure here. So right there is pretty much your cone of fire on that. Heater. Oh, this is cool. So we can go down into our nose turret here. I'm not gonna grab every one of these, but and then you have a hatch and kind of a glitch through top, so you can come up the nose here. That's kind of cool. All right. And let's see, what do we have back here? Down and up. No clue what that does. So a little bit of more explanation is always good on that, just so you know what that is all about, what down and up mean. All right, so let's look here. We have altitude, fuel level, airspeed in miles per hour, interior temperature, nav lights, parking brake looks like it's on, throttle. Let's turn on the H menu as well. Gyro, artificial horizon, landing gear, up, down. All right, so up, down is flaps. Space is drop bombs. 1 is starters. 2 is gyro. Disengage parking brake. So oh, wow, that is super duper twitchy there. So pitch, WS. Wow, that's twitchy. Roll is AD. Yeah, so everything's pretty standard on that. Let's see. Starter. Where was the starter? It says navigation lights. So starter's 1. Okay. So I don't know if they're on or not. Let me turn the volume up so you can't hear it. Okay, when I shut the starter off, the engines stop. So maybe we need throttle more than 0. So usually 0.05 if it's not doesn't have a floor on it or clamp. Okay, the engines are dying. Can't tell if they're running or not. So if I shut the starter off, the engines seem to die. Okay. So I can't keep the engines on with the starter as far as I know, without the starter on. So let's just run it with the starter on, I guess. Hopefully we can shut the starter off at some point. Flaps is up, down. So, okay. Flaps. So I guess it's spoilers. So they go up and down. So they go to spoilers. All right. There was some weird note about the flaps. Let's look at that. Let's see where it was. Naturally pitches up, so I recommend having the flaps be flush with the wings. Okay. So the flaps are not usable, I guess. All right. So I will just keep them flush with the wings. All right. Okay, so I have the starter off. Looks like the engines are actually running now. Brake is there. Where is brake? 3. Disengage parking brake. 2 is gyro. I'm not going to turn the gyro on yet. Let's go ahead and try to get out of here. So I need to manually reach over for the throttle. So it'd be nice if that was on my seat. I'm trying to yaw here and turn us. Okay, we're turning all right. It's just a little bit wobbly on that tail wheel just because it's kind of thin. Okay, let's get out of here. Bang. Okay, so we're up. So it takes off pretty good here. Landing gear is going to come up. Let's look at it. Okay, so that's nice. They just slide up inside, so that's pretty cool. I like it. It's kind of a cool, cartoony... Wowza. Alright, the reason why it's naturally pitches up is your sensitivity is out of control, so I would decrease the sensitivity, but again, it's kind of a cartoony build, so... But decreased pitch sensitivity would help. Decrease... The roll is not... Like, it rolls fine, it's just they're really sensitive. Let's go try to drop some bombs. So, space bar. So, pitch... Wowza, dude. That's sensitive. Alright, and I'm going to try to do a split S here. So, it rolls pretty slow, but it's not bad. You know, it's supposed to be a big bomber, so that's fine. It just, it pitches like crazy, so... I'm not going to play with the flaps because it pitches so much, and I was advised not to. So, I haven't turned the gyro on yet. Let's turn that on. Yep, standard gyro. I'm not a huge gyro on fan, so we'll leave it off. Let's go ahead and put the gear down. We'll do a landing. I have our gear down this time. And I can't control my throttle as I'm flaring without having to reach over there, so we'll see how well this is, especially with it being a little on the pitchy side. So I'll try to get a reasonable, serviceable landing. Where's my airspeed? Airspeed's over there, so that's in miles an hour, so... Doing an alright job. A little bit of viz issue, but again, you know, with these types of old canopies, that's kind of part of the character of them. Okay. Alright, I have no clue what's going on now. I can't control this throttle as I'm landing, so I just kind of plopped it in. So, I would definitely put that throttle on at least a number, and, you know, my preferred method's up, down, but, you know, it's kind of a cartoony build, so it's not a huge deal, but I like the aesthetics of it a lot. It's kind of cool. It's boxy, and it's got some cool detailing and neat gear, and I really like it a lot. It's pretty cool. It could use a little bit of refinement on its control. Flaps only go down. I don't know why the flaps are going up unless you're considering those spoilers as well, which is fine. You know, they could be spoilers. A little bit of clipping here and there. You see we get some clipping with the rudders. You get clipping on that hatch. Lots of cool machine guns, but, you know, it's a cartoony build, so it's kind of fun, and it was cool, and, you know, it was fun dropping the bombs, and this is a fun build to use. And our next build here is the 1 hour challenge private plane. So, as the name suggests, 1 hour challenge. So that's probably going to be pretty simplistic for a 1 hour challenge, as you would imagine. So this is by Mecha 707 Kermit. Right, and so this is a small private plane that I made in 47 minutes and 30 seconds. It can work without infinite electric and fuel as well. Have fun using it. Instructions: turn electric, take sure brakes are on. Add some throttle. Hold starters until engine is running. Release brakes, taxi, takeoff, and have fun flying it. Recommend not using the gyro. Please don't upload without my permission. Alright, so here we are with the 1 hour plane. So first thing I noticed, I'm going to have to be careful of that propeller. Pretty close to the ground, so I have to make sure I don't tag that on the way out. But it looks pretty good for a 1 hour build. We'll have to see how it flies. These challenges are kind of cool, just kind of seeing. I like the open cockpit design. I like that it's tiny. You know, one of I think the things that I take most pride is when somebody's inspired by my builds, and this kind of inspires me to make like a tiny little open cockpit plane. So, you know, this definitely gives me some inspiration. So let's go ahead and read the instructions. Turn on electrics. 1. Okay. Take sure brakes are on. Brakes are on. Add some throttle. Okay. Again, I'm using throttle with up down, which is my preferred method. That is nice. I like that. So that's good. That's in there. Let's see. Hold starter until engine is running. Release brakes. Taxi, takeoff, have fun. Okay, so pretty simple. Starter 2. Alright, so that's running. I'm going to bring this back, take some brakes. Yeah, we'll just take off straight, I think. Oh, can't go full throttle. Or else we, take off and landing 30. Okay, so okay, I don't know why. Wow, 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 wow. Come on, man. Come on, man. Straight up fly right there, guy. Okay. So I'm trying to figure this out, why it's set up the way it is. Alrighty. So takeoff and landing is 0.3. Okay. So I can't once my throttle goes above a certain level, it kills my engine. So my engine's dead. So I wonder, it must have propeller pitch in there as well, but the full throttle is giving me, I bet it's got the propeller pitch included in there. So we're off the ground. So again, you know, this is a 1 hour challenge plane, so I'm not, you know, I'm not giving it a ton of grief because, you know, it was built in a short period of time, so it's, you know, it's pretty simplistic. I like that. We have electric, we have fuel, artificial rise, and compass ball, so nice and simple for a 1 hour plane. Suggest no gyro on, so I'm going to click it on, see what it does. Yep, standard gyro, too stiff, so we'll shut that back off. Landing lights are 4. All right, nice. Let's see, nav lights 5, strobes are 6. Let's put all that on. All right, so there's a white strobe where the beacon normally is. There's a bottom beacon there, so that's cool. Nav lights are correct, so that's nice. So it flies really well. It flies nicely. It's controllable. It's comfortable. I like, again, having my thrust or my throttle on the up down. Nice and controllable, so that's really nice to see. So it's good for a 1 hour challenge. It definitely flies well. You know, I like it. It flies really well. It's fun. Throttle's a little weird to me. Having an incorporated propeller in there. I would just make it probably a fixed pitch propeller. You know, that would be kind of my go-to. Where's my airspeed here? No airspeed, so the most important gauge is missing. So I would get rid of that electric gauge and put an airspeed gauge in there personally. Tapping down some thrust here. Let's see if I can't get a landing. Okay, so it just like kills the engine there, so I have to be careful. Okay, there we go. So I found kind of a good approach speed for this where it behaves. Throttle is, yeah, throttle is definitely weird. I think the propeller is tied in with that, so that would be why. But as you can see, it flies nicely. It's just, you know, the tail wheel's a little sensitive, and because it's, you know, it's tippy, but it's, so the only thing I would really work on is the throttle, and I think, you know, that'd be cool. But this is really fun for a 1 hour build, you know, so this is, and again, the end of the day, if the craft is fun, it's a success, so I enjoy this, and it inspires me, which I think is one of the, you know, the best compliments people can give to my builds is, you know, I want to go out and I want to build a tiny little airplane that, you know, with an open cockpit. I've yet to do that, and so this plane inspires me to do that. So great build, enjoyed using it. It was a lot of fun. Right, and so the next build is the H-Tech 710 BDR. So this is a bomb disposal robot. So suspicious item inspection. Safe detonation. And it looks like you can, yeah, vehicle inspection there. So this is from Pilot Houston 5. So there's a bunch of a couple of these different robots. So H-Tech 710 BDR operation manual hotkey functions are on the controller holder. Okay. Key mode 1 function, mode 2 function, WS throttle / arm, AD steering, arm rotate. So when you know this, you see this in a lot of things where you change your functions, and so function 1 would be throttle steering, stilts, camera, and then when you go to function 2, it goes arm, rotate, forearm extension. No, it's BDR stands for bomb diffuser robot. 710 is an experimental project which still has some flaws. Mainly the battery life is really bad, so when used, play with infinite electricity. So I'm not going to use infinite electricity unless I have to. Be careful when using arm extensively. It is advised to take it slow. If used carelessly, may result in pivot collision. Okay, so I would clamp that if you're getting pivot collisions, so that you don't go into the collision area. Info about the building process and contributions. Thanks to Strider for distracting me with render project and helping with screenshots. Thank you for taking the time to read and download this creation. Hope you have a great day. All right, so let's go. All right, so here we are with the bomb disposal robot. It's very nice and compact, which is often tough on, because you have to hide all your microcontrollers. But as you can see, we have a micro there, very light, which is tough as well. You see, if I just bump into it, it wants to move all over the shops because it's so light. It looks like it has an XML edited pivot here on that. So looks like we have our camera and a pokey to detonate it. So it said there were instructions here. So 1 is mode switch, 2 is toucher, 3 is mag release, 4 is brakes. Okay, so it's going to be tough. Hopefully that's on the other menu too. What are you? You are my screen. Okay, do I need to turn you on as well? Probably. There we go. Holy, excuse me, sir. That was terrifying. Scared the hell out of me. Okay, so it needs to be plugged in to radio transmit? What? I didn't see that in the description. So you are plugged in here, sir. I'm not sure what that's all about. Let's go ahead and... So 1 is mode switch, 2 toucher. So let me pick this up. Mode switch. All right. So hopefully it's channel 1. Let me check this really. So 1 is mode switch. So let's click it. And let's go WS. Nothing. Okay, let me click this off and check the frequency. So what is my frequency? That's important to know. So I need to know my frequency. Let's see what the freak is. So there's an XML edited radio in there. Let's see what frequency. 0. Okay, so the frequency is 0. So he said infinite electricity. Let's just turn it on. Not a huge fan of infinite electricity, but we'll turn it on. Where did the remote control? I put it back. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you can see I actually am doing something there. The front is going down when I pressed up, down. So it like lifts the front up. Yeah, you see those 2 wedges in the front are going up and down. I don't know what that's all about. That's stilts forearm. As 2. So stilts, that must be stabilization stilts. WS is throttle. And I'm pressing WS, and it appears to be doing nothing. A and D I'm pressing, and that is doing nothing. Left, right is camera tilt. Okay, you can see the camera's tilting there. All right, let's do mode. So what do we press? 1. And let's see if I can do something here. Okay, that's moving the arm. All right, so it's all glitched out. What is going on with this? It is all glitched out, dude. So I'll respawn it here in a second if I can't get it to work. But so the mode switch worked. Let's see if I can't get it to sit on its tracks. It's like glued to the ground here. Let me see what's up with this. So this is being really weird. Okay. So this is like, okay. Oh, so that's the mag. Let me see. There was a mag control. I bet the mag stuck. That's brake release. Okay, so the brake release was on 3. Let's do 3. Okay, that's what happened. Is it attached? Okay, it attached. So let's do brake release as well. 4. See, I have to come back here for my instructions. So I would put all those instructions on the workshop page too. I can kind of keep that on another monitor. All right, so we're still in function 2. Let's go ahead and move the arm down. That's better. Okay, so the magnet was attracted to the ground, which... Do I even see a magnet? Because this is a pusher. This is the... Okay, so this is an XML edited thing. That's why it's really weird. So that's an effector end, and then there's a mag-all somewhere XML'd in there. All right, so that's fine. That explains why it's kind of acting funky weird. So WS is the arm. So that was the magnet that I didn't see. That's why I was so confused. Is I was like, why? Okay. Is this on sticky? Okay, it appears to be sticky. So my WS, I'm not touching anything right now. Okay, it's slow to return, so that's fine. Sometimes you get that with remote control stuff. So like I've let go of S. Let's see, arm rotate AD. So we can go left, right with the arm. Forearm is up, down. So there's my forearm. Forearm extension. Okay, so everything's like acting sticky. So like I've let go of some of those controls a while ago and they're still going. And because it's it's being a little weird. Let's go ahead and press 1 and let's try to drive it some. All right, so it drives pretty well for it being such a tiny thing. So that's really cool. It's a little bit buggy, but it drives really nicely. I'm surprised how well it drives being this tiny and where the center of gravity is. But it's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, it definitely drives cool. The arm is a little bit interesting. Yeah, definitely kind of a cool. It's a cool build, and it's definitely it's definitely unique. Arm's just a little weird. Let's go ahead and I can't remember my controls. I'd have to walk back over there. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna switch the modes again, and we'll try the arm a little bit. See if it. So like I let go already. Still going. Still going. Okay, stop. I'm gonna press S. Let go S. Still going. Still going. Still going. Okay, so you definitely have to kind of plan your moves. You have to plan your moves quite a bit. Like let go. Still going. Still going. I've let go a long time ago. All right, I'm gonna press down. Let go. Still going. Okay, so yeah, you definitely have to plan your moves, but it's definitely a... Whoa, I didn't touch anything on that one. So it's definitely a cool build. It's definitely unique. Put it that way. Yeah, but it's definitely neat, and so it's kind of cool if you want RP doing some bomb disposal, but kind of a neat little vehicle here. And camera here, so definitely unique and an interesting design. And special thanks to Jan, Klara, Skelbton, Kermit, and Pilot Houston 5. I really enjoyed checking out all your builds, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks.